Businesses all across the planet are looking to make connections with people. Well, guess what? Divine Connections magazine is helping businesses not only walk in their purpose and passions, but to get connected to their potential. That's right. You've got to connect to your potential, and you can make it happen now because it is time to know your worth. As you get connected to people all across the planet, Divine Connections magazine will make it happen. And get featured in the magazine today and get your copy now, because there's no other time than a divine time to get connected to Divine Connections magazine.
Hello and welcome to the fabulous world of Dream Builders Realty, where we are fulfilling dreams and lifestyles. My name is Tricia Adams and I'm the owner-operator, and I have a fabulous team here to help you with your real estate needs. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, we're here to help you. If you need questions on down payment assistance, if you have credit that's not so great but you need some help with that, we're here. We are your go-to people. So please feel free to reach out and we can help you with any of those needs. And you can contact any of our fabulous agents at 336-770-2712.
Dream Builders!
Hello, this is gospel recording artist Johnny Ruffin Jr. from Lewiston, North Carolina, just letting you know that I have a Christmas CD out entitled White Christmas. Please go and download that CD on any digital media outlet. Also, I have some great gospel music that I have created throughout the years that will definitely be a blessing to you and your household. Thank you for your support. God bless.
Great day, everyone. This is Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Hope all is well. Divine Connection is a magazine that comes out quarterly in print as well as online. I connect with different businesses, entrepreneurs, gospel artists, praise dance moms, vendors, and we all come together in one fashion or form or the other. So I do the magazine, I do events, I do interviews. I would love to connect with you. So if you would like an interview on my show, I would love to talk with you first, of course, and connect with you. 336-338-8903. You can text me or email me at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. Also, if you would like to stay connected with us, you can subscribe to our email list on my website at divineconnectionsmagazine.com, and also keep up with the updates and news of what's going on. We are also on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. We are also on Instagram at Divine Connections, one word. And you can go to our YouTube channel at The Divine Connections, and also subscribe and click the notification button while you are there so you can stay connected of what's going on with Divine Connections. So the magazine comes out quarterly in print as well as online. So you can go to our website and get your copy at divineconnectionsmagazine.com/subscriptions. There are articles, there are business owners, there are resources, there are connections with people that's in this magazine. So go make some connections and get your copy at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. Also, we have sponsorship available. So this show, interviews come on Wednesdays from 3 to 6 because I love spreading the good news and letting you know what good news is out there. So if you would like to be a sponsor, your 30-second commercial will run for 3 months. It'll come on before or after the show. And we do a 3-month agreement just for 150. And we get your name and your information and your business out there, as well as I go about sharing different things that's going on with Divine Connection, as well as businesses and entrepreneurs and things, gospel artists, and everything that's going on positive in the community. So send me an email at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com if you're interested in being a sponsor. Also, if you need a 30-second or 60-second commercial for your business, your ministry, your book, your gospel group, your praise dance, your mime group, email me at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. We do 30-second and 60-second videos, professional. So to help you get the word out there, to help you people know about who you are and what you do. And last but not least, I would love for you to order my book, which is The Key Connector: How to Build an Empire Helping People. All right, this is my new book that just came out. It is on Amazon, or you can go down to the link below and type in The Key Connector: How to Build an Empire Helping People. So in this book, I talk about different strategies and things going on, and how I basically build divine connections in my life, about making decisions and wise decisions and strategic plans and things on how to build my business, how to stay connected. And I continue to do those things right now. And so I am here, and more things to come. So definitely stay connected and go ahead and get the book so you can get some insight on how I do it and build my empire, so you can build your empire too. All right. Awesome. And so today we have a wonderful guest on the line. It's Miss Brown, and she is a realtor. She buys and sells homes. So let's get into some insight of what she does and how she can help us. Okay. I'm a homeowner and I love it. There is nothing, okay, nothing like having your own. So let me bring Miss Brown in, and welcome.
Hey, Dolores, thanks for having me today.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you on today. And tell the audience a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Okay, well, my name is Tricia Brown, and I'm located here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And shout out to Raleigh Wood if you follow me on Facebook. And what I do is I'm a realtor, and I'm also an investor. So I buy and sell homes, and I also help other people purchase properties and make good investment decisions.
Awesome. And I love talking to realtors because I have my own home. So I know there is a process in order for you to buy your own home. And as an individual, personally myself, I bought my home at the age of 27. And I got it built from ground up as a single person. So I was so excited about it. I was able to tell them what color carpet I wanted, that I wanted to add a fireplace, and that I wanted brick on the front. And then I was able to, as they were building it, go by and watch them build it. So that was a phenomenal experience. And then they always tell you, when you're looking for a home, is location. So if you ever want to sell your home, location is one of the number one factors. Okay, I'm not a realtor. I'm just telling you the excitement I had when I, got my house. Okay. So I'm gonna let the professional tell you. So tell us, let's start with, let's see, what do you want to start with?
Well, we could talk about home buying. Why is it important to buy a home in the first place? Because I think that's
exactly.
It's a myth that renting sometimes is better than owning. We was raised up to believe that, hey, you don't have as much responsibility if you rent a place, rather if you own the place. So a lot of people put off owning a home for years because they feel like that when the repairs come up, they don't want to be responsible for it. But the
Mhm.
point that we're not told is the investment side of real estate. That
Mhm.
when you buy your own home, you you building up equity in that home. And some people don't know what equity is, so we'll talk about that a little later. That's when
Okay.
your house is worth more than what you own. That's basically what equity is. When you can take money out of your home and you can invest it or whatever you may need. Some people, they take a home line of credit out and they start a business,
Mhm.
and that's how they able to grow wealth. So it's so many things that you can do with home ownership. So owning a home is a way to build wealth not only for you but for your family, and it's something to leave your children.
Mhm.
With
Awesome.
me, with me being single, my investment portfolio is mainly just for me to be able to not have to work.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen.
I want to work when I want to work, and I want to do what I enjoy. And real estate is a way that you do that. It's the only business that you can go into and make $100,000 in a day. You
Mm.
can just by signing your name. It's not
Yeah.
it's not that easy to do that in other fields. You can acquire that type of wealth, but can you do it in one setting? Or
Woo! Now you done said some stuff right there. $100,000 in one day. Wow. Let's talk about that. And investment, like I hadn't even thought about really that side of it. Like I got my home, I'm excited. But the other things you were talking about, the equity in it,
Mhm.
how that works, how you can take that and start a business or do some other things. So continue talking about that.
Yeah, with your home line of credit, it's what you want to do with the money, but I really urge you to don't use it unless it's something that's going to build wealth. We don't want to take a home line
Right.
of credit and have a liability. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Mm-hmm.
swimming pool in the backyard, that's a liability. That's not going to really build wealth, because in real estate, another thing you have to caution yourself with, no matter how much you love your house, it's only worth as much as your neighbor's house worth. So if your neighbor
Mm-hmm.
sold his house for $100,000 and your house is worth
Mm-hmm.
$500,000, is somebody with $500,000 going to pay you pay you $500 to live across the street from somebody who paid $100,000 for their home? So do you want to
Right.
put a lot of investment in a home in a bad neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. That's
You
right.
may want to sell that home and upgrade and move into the house that you really,
Right.
before you spend a lot of money. I went through a neighborhood not so long ago, and these houses was around the 200,000 or maybe less,
Mm-hmm.
but it was one house sitting in there was probably worth almost $1 million. And
Wow.
I stopped and started filming it because I just couldn't see why somebody would build such a massive house in such a community, because
Mm-hmm.
you still can't get the comps to justify it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you probably gonna
And that's
lose. Hmm?
no, I was just saying that's where I think they were talking about location, location, location. Because once you start learning about houses, because I went to a first time home buyers workshop. I don't know if
Right,
you have any of those, but you could talk
right,
about that if you do. You learn a whole lot, and they
yeah,
just nail in location, location, location. Okay.
right. Because location means a lot. I'm from a small town in Red
Mm-hmm.
Springs. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but when you coming into my hometown, it's an area that you got to go
Mm-hmm.
through to get there. It's called Lumber Bridge. But in that area,
Okay.
it's a produce plant. It's called the chicken plant, Mineri Farms. Well, you could smell it
Mm-hmm.
maybe like in a 5 miles radius. You can't hide from it. Would you want real estate? You know what I'm saying? Right there where
Right.
you couldn't get away from the smell of that area. You
Uh,
want to build your
right.
dream house there, because when you get
Mm-hmm.
ready to sell to the next person, will they want to live there? Even though you may have community ties there and it may not bother you because you get adjusted to the smell, you got to think about the buyers coming behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's important.
And look,
But what was you going to say, Dolores?
I was gonna say, and what about? Oh Lord, I forgot my question. Um, I forgot. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Go ahead. I can't remember what it is now. Sorry.
So when you think about home ownership, another thing, when you're a first time home buyer, you may not have acquired enough wealth to buy your dream home. But that still doesn't mean that you should not purchase a home that you like. My first home that I bought, everything that I wrote down that I said I wanted, it didn't have any of it. But the thing that it did have was the neighborhood that it was in. It was on a golf course with a swimming pool, with walking trails, with, you know, it was the neighborhood that sold me. And that's where I made so much money off of the house, even though it wasn't my dream house. It was still so valuable just because of where it was sitting at. It was maybe 10 minutes from the highway, but it had tennis courts, basketball courts, a gym. I mean, it had everything on the premises. You didn't have to leave out our neighborhood for anything. So when you're thinking about it, your first home, even though the closet may be small, how much is the land worth that it's sitting on?
Ooh, come on now.
You don't want to walk into a house and just disregard it because it's not your dream home, because that home may very well provide you with enough money to buy your dream home and to upgrade. And you learn all of this as you going into real estate. You only want to think about the location and the space. And I know you were saying earlier you built your first home. I'm building a home now out in Mebane.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it, but it's a beautiful home. I told you, but I just don't want to work that hard. So, if I find an opportunity where I can find the nicest house or a nice house in a nice neighborhood and start building it, remember the first people there is going to have the most equity. So I started building that house around January.
Right. Okay.
You agree, right? So I started
yes,
around January, and it's about ready. So I'm maybe like 2 months out from it being completed. Yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about the equity that's going to come from it. Because back home in my hometown, what I'm doing now is I'm getting ready to open up a trailer park in my hometown, where somewhere out on the outskirts where I can provide affordable housing for the people in my hometown. So a lot of that money is going to come from me investing in real estate here and being able to sell it for such a huge amount of money and not have to work hard for the money. That's my.
And you said something that like in a one day making $100,000. My goodness.
Yeah,
and that is
name though. You ain't. You're not going to somebody's job. You're just really just getting them signing your name because I'm certified. So you have all those perks as a realtor that not only are you going to get paid for buying and selling your home, but they paying you a commission for buying your own home. So it's a lot of perks with it. And teaching other people how to build wealth in their family, because with that, I don't want to get bombarded, but with my closest family, I do credit repair because I mastered that. With credit repair, coming from a family who didn't know much about credit, I had to learn all this stuff the hard way. I didn't actually go pay nobody to fix my credit. I did it myself through trial and error.
Come on.
But it's great now.
So if a person, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. But if I am working with a client, of course, I would help them, get to a great credit rating.
Yeah, I was going to say, so let's go back just a little bit because we're both excited. If someone wanted to buy their own house, what are some basic things they need to do right now to start preparing if they want to purchase a home within a year or two? Because there's some things like when you buy a home, they look at 2 years of income. So talk about that.
Well, it depends. If you're if you're a W-2 employee, then as long as you have consistent income, probably over the last 6 to 12 months, you really don't have to have 2. But if you are, if you're a 1099 where you own your own business, file your own taxes, sometimes they do require 2 years, but some lenders make it get you approved even with 1 year. But of course, when you run your own business, you have to file a tax every year. They're going to require that. They're going to require bank statements and everything to follow how well your business doing when you're trying to buy the home. But the most important thing, no matter whether you're running your own business or if you're a W-2 employee, you got to get rid of debt, because your house,
for sure,
your house is going to be the biggest debt that you acquire for most people. Some people, cars cost more than their houses, but you know, neither here nor there. But uh, for the most part, your house is going to cost more than your vehicle. So the creditor want to know, can you afford this home? And the only way you know you can afford it is if you don't have a lot of debt. So any debt that you have, you need to start paying that down. And as you pay down your debt, don't close any old accounts. Like even if you hate that credit card, don't close it because it's going to hurt your debt to ratio.
And if you do have if you do have a credit card, I forgot what percentage they say to stay under. Like you
30,
can have one, but you still want to stay under 30%.
right? Yeah, you want to stay under 30%. But it's better to be under 10%.
Okay.
But you don't want to pay your credit card off in full. So every month you don't want to have no zero balance because then how they going to rate you? You at least want to leave $5 off. Like if I pay my credit card, I pay everything but $5 because then you're not rating. You don't want to have nothing to say that you don't have a debt to ratio of 0 to 100. I mean, that may feel good, but you want the points to continue to go up. So keeping your debt to ratio around 1 or 2%, if you're someone who like to stay debt free, is going to cause you to have a great credit rating, especially under 10%. Okay. Yeah, and then when you go to 10%. Yeah, I mean, my debt to ratio is like 2%, and I struggle to keep it. I struggle to keep it there, just not, because you got to have debt. It's stupid, but you got to have debt in order to maintain good credit. If you pay off everything and nothing is reporting, your score would drop 40 to 50 points.
Ooh, wow.
Just because you're debt free, they don't have any way to rate you. So if every time you get a credit card, you pay it off in total in full, it's no way to really rate you. So you have to keep a balance on your cards if you want to maintain a good credit score. So
go ahead.
So once you have maintained a good credit score and your debt to ratio is under 30%, then you're going to qualify for a home. So you got to find a lender and what the best loan is. For first-time home buyers, a lot of times you may want 100% financing. And you want to find a lender that'll give you 100% financing. But remember, you got to be careful with what lender you're going to use because you don't want a lender that's going to charge you PMI insurance. You want a lender that will give you 100% but waive the PMI, which is PMI is private mortgage insurance. For anybody who don't put 20% down, you have to pay a penalty. You have to get that insurance every month to cover the loan until you have enough equity in it. So you want to find a lender that will waive the PMI and also give you 100%. And they may give you some money towards closing because your closing costs, depending on what type of house you're building or buying, could be, anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 to $20,000.
Okay, so wow.
When you get ready to go to closing. And that's what stops them from buying their second home. So another thing is when you get ready to try to do investing, you have to always say that the house you buying is your primary residence. Because if it's investment property, you're going to have to put 15 to 20% down.
That's good to know. She's throwing out nuggets, y'all. That's good to know.
It's trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not an easy process, but it's easy when you got somebody guiding you. Sometimes you have to pay for knowledge in this world. And that's why I appreciate people like you, Deloris, because you're allowing us to talk about it freely. And for people who's tuning in and want to buy it, they getting a lot of information that you will probably have to sign a contract with a realtor for them to sit down and spend that much time talking with you about. Because one thing realtors don't want to do is give you all the advice and you go hire someone else.
Right. Awesome. We got people chiming in. So so after you get the home, all right, you bought the home now and you want to pay it off. Tell us some ways how we can pay it off.
By paying
some nuggets with that.
By Well, you know what? Actually, paying towards your principal is the easiest way. But when you walk in the bank to make the payment, make your monthly payment, you have to tell them
Mm-hmm.
how much money goes towards the principal and how much money you want to go to
Mm-hmm.
the payment. So if you went in the bank and made 2 months payment, but you really intended for one of those payments to go towards your principal, and you didn't tell the bank that, then you may not get credit and your balance may not come down. So just like anything else, paying towards your principal or paying more towards than just your monthly rate is going to help you pay your house off sooner, or getting a 15-year mortgage. What you got to think about, do you want to do that? It's all about how long you're going to stay in that property. How long are you going to stay in that property? Because if you're going to stay in that property for just a year or two, then you don't want to get a 15-year mortgage. You want to get a 30-year mortgage because you're using somebody else's money to pay for it. Now, if it's going
Mm.
to be your long time home and you know you're not never moving, then you may want to do a 15 mortgage just to be free of that debt. But just make
Mm-hmm.
sure when you go in for your loan, what your intentions is in the long run. With me, I knew I wasn't buying my dream house, so I knew I wouldn't be there long. So
Mm-hmm.
I did a 5-year on. I sold the
Mm-hmm.
house in 3 years.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But I already
Yeah.
knew that going into it, that that would work for me. But for someone else who wants
Right.
something term, then 30-year loan may be the best, but it doesn't mean that you still can't pay it off early. You would want to ask your loan officer, is there any penalties for paying your home off early? Every loan
Okay.
is different. It just depends on which bank you go through.
Okay. Awesome. 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 Hold on. Man, I hate when I forget my
You know,
questions.
go back to something,
Uh,
Laura.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. Go
We
ahead.
were talking about earlier with you building your first home, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
building a home now. And I
Okay.
want to put this out because there may be somebody else that's doing new construction. But if you are, when you get ready to go in there and go in a contract with your home, that's just
Mm-hmm.
the base. That's just the base model. You still have to go and pick out everything, and that's where it can get costly at. And you got to
Mm-hmm.
caution yourself about picking out every upgrade that you want, because at the end, when it's time for you to go to closing, you may be over what you even qualify for just from the upgrade. So
Mm-hmm.
think about the square footage when you think about building your own home. Think about
Mm-hmm.
the square footage, the crown mold, and things that you couldn't really do after the home is built. Don't put so
Mm-hmm.
much emphasis on everything that the builder is offering, because there's a lot of things that once that house closes and it's yours, that you can go in and do yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't get to the point like I had a friend uh, that bought a townhouse, and her home was worth 300,000. She bought $75,000 in upgrades. Well, if the person next door house is only worth 300,000, you
Mm-hmm.
$75,000 under instead of having $75,000 in equity. So
Wow.
you got to caution yourself about what really matters when you buy your house. It's going to be the location, and it's going to be the
Mm-hmm.
square footage most of the time. Everything else that you would love to have or can't live without, the next buyer may not even feel that way. But if there's things that you can do the upgrades on your own to keep your mortgage at a good rate, I would suggest you do that. Do those upgrades on your own. If you want white cabinets, paint them yourself or have somebody to come in after you close. Yeah, because all the money that you put into that house while you building it, that's going to be built into your mortgage. And you want
Mm-hmm.
your mortgage to be as low as you can get it, or as responsible as you can get it. And all the upgrades you
Mm-hmm.
can do, because it's your home, you can do it as you go.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. So let's talk about ways to pay the house off early. So I've heard pay it on the first. So the other days won't accumulate the interest. I've heard pay it twice. Was it twice? Twice a month. And then I think I've also heard paying one payment a year, an extra payment a year. So talk about any of that, or the
that
right situation.
I think that it just depends on the best situation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you really need to pay your house off early is the question. Um,
Mm.
because I'm always a realist, because I don't want somebody to go out and tie their money up with paying this home off when you could be
Mm-hmm.
investing and creating money for yourself. So how much
Mm.
money do you want to put into a home that you already own? If you already got 20% equity into the home, if something
Mm-hmm.
happens in your life where you had a life event, then you already have a safety net without even saving anything else. But what about for your retirement? All that extra money you putting in a home that you already own, you could be putting it into investment accounts and making money to pay that house off at the end of retirement. Because remember, you can file your house on your taxes. You get a tax write-off. You can always get a home loan, equity loan, and credit. There's so many things you can do with holding on to your property and holding on to a mortgage that it's not always a good thing to pay off your mortgage. Now, where are you at in your retirement when you think about paying off your home? Is this going to be your dream home? Is this going to be your last home? But of course, anytime you paying towards your principal, that's going to bring down how much you owe on the house. But is it going to bring you any more money into your savings? Do you have a 6-month emergency fund? Do you have a 12-month emergency fund? Do you have a nice stock portfolio? Do you have life insurance to cover it? When you buy your home, you should be buying a policy that says if something happened to me, this house is paid off. You always want insurance to cover everything. Do you have enough insurance that if your house caught fire, that it would pay it off? It's not always us planning to pay our house off. It's where our house get paid off. But if you want to pay your house off, the only way to do it is pay more towards the principal. Whether you do that on the first, because you don't gain interest on the loan, I think, until after the 15th. Now, if you were renting after the first, you're late. But when you have a mortgage, it's not till after the 15th. But it's only what you pay towards your principal is the quickest way you're going to pay your mortgage off. But everybody shouldn't be paying their mortgage off, especially young people. I mean, unless you make a great income. I'm talking about the everyday person that go to work and come home. Now, if you're making $250,000 a year or $300,000 a year, it'd probably be feasible for you to pay your mortgage off. But somebody who's making $100,000 or less a year should be focused more on their portfolio and building investments and buying life insurance while they're younger than it is paying off your home. Now, getting 20% equity in your home is a great asset. But once you acquire the home, everything else around you is what you should be building. What's your next property going to be? What's your next investment going to be? What are you going to do to keep building wealth for yourself? Because that house is a liability if it's not making money for you.
Ooh, that is golden nuggets, girl.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about once you get your house, there's no sense of putting a lot of money into it unless unless you can afford to do that. But most people can afford to pay their mortgage, but we don't want to get we don't want to be in a rush to pay the bank back when we got 30 years. We got to be in a rush for those 30 years to build our portfolio so that when we get ready to retire, our retirement will cover the house. And even if we didn't pay it off in retirement, we still got enough money to pay it off. But if you got a good interest rate and you locked in for 30 years, the rest of your money should be going to building your portfolio, meaning your investments, your life insurance. When you buy your house, buy insurance. If something happened to you, you get ill, you get sick, you got insurance that will pay your mortgage for you. You got insurance that will pay the house off if you don't make it. When I buy my property, I have all those insurances. That's where your extra money should be going in the beginning, especially if you're a young family. Now, for me, since I'm a little older, it's okay for me to buy a house and pay it off. But the only way I would ever do that is if it was money that I got from investments. It wouldn't be coming from just my hard-working money. That money it's got to last you for the rest of your life. Even if you don't realize it, the day that you work and the money that you have got to last you forever. So how do you want that money to last you? What are you going to do?
Right.
You got to invest it in something. I ain't saying invest it in the stock market, but you got to invest in something. You do, you got to invest in something to help you to acquire money for your retirement. And that's more important than paying off your home.
Wow. That's some good stuff. You got me over here thinking. Because my son was like, I want to pay off the house. I want to pay off the house. And that's just one of my goals.
But if you bought your house, you built it from ground up, you've been in your house how long?
12 years.
Right. You should have a pretty good amount of equity in that house. So your focus should go to your portfolio and building that and making sure that your money is worth 3 to 4 times what your house will ever be worth.
That's
because
good.
your house is going to grow in value anyway. Your house is going to go down anyway. It's your own personal money that you have to take care of. And that money has to grow for us. And that's going to grow by us making good financial decisions, and by us building good credit ratings, and by us making good investments. Because now you're probably in a situation you can have a second property. You've been in your house 12 years. You can buy a second home and rent it out and have somebody else to pay. You'll have two houses paid for the time your one house get paid off.
Come on now. Yeah,
Or
we gonna have to talk, girl.
Yeah, or you can buy a duplex. I mean, there's so many things going on now that is going to help us build wealth. That if you want to pay off your house, more power to you. It's a great accomplishment. Dave Ramsey, I follow him. He says pay off the house. But the thing is, when you are already solid and you making great money and you have a good emergency fund, it's investing in growing your wealth and yours, and how much you are worth is just going to matter under the long run.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
But,
so, do you have? Sorry to cut you off. Do you have workshops or information where people can learn more information about all of these benefits of buying a home? I mean, like I haven't heard of all of the things you've talked about. Like my eyes is just like, because my focus was pay the house off. But I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I might have to rethink. I still want to pay the house off, but I want to see what else I can do, like you was talking about with the benefits. So
yeah, you got so much. I mean, you set yourself up nice, and that's wonderful. But now that you got all this free money that's at your asset, you could probably pay cash for a duplex with your home line of credit and rent it out, and that duplex pay off your house. And that way you're not worried about paying off your house because somebody else is paying it off.
Come on now.
Right? Like, because you don't set yourself up so nice, and there's so many choices that you have. And that's why I said building wealth and not building liabilities.
Wow.
And that's the great thing about real estate. You will always have that money there to your advantage. And so buying a home is a great way to build wealth, not only for yourself, but for your family and whoever you leave it to. But going back to what you was asking me, mainly right now, I'm just working with my clients one-on-one, but in the new year, if you bring me back, then I have a schedule for maybe when I put on some, I think what I really want to do for the new year is help people build their credit up.
Okay.
I think that's the one thing that stops people from being able to get to the next level. It's not because they don't pay their bills on time, which is a myth, but people don't realize that if you pay all your bills on time and your cars are maxed out, you're still gonna get bad credit, right?
Yeah.
Like it's things that we just haven't been taught. They always say just pay your bills on time. Most people do, but that doesn't mean it's going to produce good credit for you. So I think in the next year, in the coming year, what I'll do is partner with my sister, Melissa. She runs Notorious Bell Bondsman down in Red Springs, and we will start holding sessions for people, and these sessions will be free. For people who want to come in and learn more about building credit and buying their first home. So I'll get that information to you then.
That would be phenomenal. I love it. I love it. I love it. Honey, you have put out some information and some nuggets today. I'm so excited. And about a duplex, I have always had it in my head, but I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I had a thought, but I don't know how to, go from there. And it's like, I don't have any kids. This is like the best time of my life. But I had to need to learn more information about the things that you talked about today. So I'm so glad we had this conversation. And there's so many benefits that you talked about with buying a home, with the equity, and then taking the equity and doing. Oh man, I'm like, I'm gonna go back and listen to this interview again myself, and we got to have another conversation once I have to like rethink on some things on my brain, just because I'm like, man, that is phenomenal.
Because what if you could take your home line of credit and buy a franchise? Because you got so much money in it. There's so much you could do with it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's so many things with owning your own house and building equity that paying it off is a great thing. But even if you don't, it's still a great thing. It's still a great thing because your investments and the money that you acquire over your lifetime, by the time we get to retirement age, you'll be able to pay that house off right away, and you're still getting all the tax benefits.
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
owning your own home and still making those payments. So think about that.
Yeah, I am. We're definitely gonna talk one on one. And let me go into it right quick. You have about maybe 5 more minutes, but
Okay.
um, who you buy and sell homes, and right now, I think the market is really high to buy homes. I don't
It
know. Get
is.
into it a little bit right now, and then what do you think is coming up, and then when is a good time you think in the future? Because I know it's not going to always be like this, to buy homes or real estate. So talk a little bit about that for
Well,
me.
we hope it's not, but now is the
Right.
best time to buy real estate.
Okay.
Anytime that you can put money into real estate, that's what you want to do. But you
Okay.
have to be cautious in this market. And I'm just gonna give you a brief example. When you're
Mhm.
buying a home in the RDU or anywhere in North
Mhm.
Carolina, we have a thing that's called due diligence. That
Mhm.
is what you pay the seller to take the house off the market. But remember,
Okay.
that money is non-refundable. You can't get that money back if you walk away from the house. So you
Mhm.
have to be balanced in your thinking about how much due diligence you're going to offer. And just a quick example, this couple here put in an offer. They put $5,000 up for due diligence and decided that they didn't, they wanted the house. The seller replied and said, "Would you do $25,000 in due diligence?" Now remember, you can't get due diligence back if you walk away.
Mhm.
They ended up finding out that there was structural damage done to that home and they had to walk away. He got to keep their
Mm.
$25,000. So in this market, even though it's a good time to buy, you have to have see the red flags when they come. And when
Mhm.
somebody asking you to put up so much money up front that they know you cannot get back, that is non-refundable, you need to
Mhm.
think about, can I afford to do this or do I need to walk away? But yeah,
Mm.
it's a great time to buy if you can buy, because remember, your house is going to bring you, hopefully it's going to build equity. Just be cautious about the neighborhood that you buy in, because like you said earlier, location is everything. You want to build your house where you can sell it right away if you need it to.
Right.
But if you in it for the long term, then you can build your house wherever you feel comfortable. But
Right.
they have USDA loans that if you want to go out in the country and live, the government pays you to do that. You get
Come
100%
on.
financing. Yeah, it's called a USDA loan. You can look it up online. If they want people in rural areas, so if you decide you
Mhm.
want to do that, you'll be able to do that. So it just depends
Wow.
on each person and what they're looking for. I'm not going to the country, so I can't get a USDA. I'm gonna stay right here in Raleigh, so we're central. But yeah, so it's all kinds of things that you can do with real estate. And just remember that when you get ready to buy, get rid of any debt and don't create any new debt.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, you said
Somebody
how
had
you
a
he
go
said how
ahead.
you know if you have a good realtor.
Mhm.
You know what? It's by the person. I think that when I first became a realtor, my thing was I didn't want to be hungry. I wanted to be able to tell my clients when they had a bad deal and they could walk away. You
Mhm.
don't want a realtor that's pressuring you when you feel like you uncomfortable with the deal.
Mhm. Right.
If you got a realtor that really want to take time and explain things to you and want to take time out with you and help you make that purchase, or when they see red flags, they call it.
Mhm.
That's when you know you got
Mhm.
a good realtor. I
That's a,
think, you know what I'm saying, because we all do the same thing. We all show homes, but we not all on the same wavelength when it comes down to being responsible and walking away from a deal that may not go through because of the commission base that's there. So you don't
mhm.
want to get a realtor that's hungry, and you can't tell by their lifestyle. You have to tell by how they treat you.
Come on now. Yeah, I know when I got my house, the area that I had my house built in,
Hmm.
when I drove in the neighborhood, I
Hmm.
was at peace with it, you know?
Oh wow, that's
It was just like, all the other places like, it's okay, it's okay. But when I got to the place where I stay at, it was a peace. I drove there during the daytime, then I drove there during the nighttime to make
right.
sure, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't no crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
But when I drove in the whole community itself, I
Uh-huh.
was at peace with it. And so that's how I
Okay.
knew I was at the right place. You know what I'm
At
saying?
the right place. Yeah.
Yes, for
Well, I'm
sure.
happy. But Dolores, you bought at a time that you didn't have to go through all of this that we go through today. Now you got to have five and $10,000, $15,000 over asking price. If you don't have $5,000 to $10,000 over asking, you're not going to win the bid. If you don't have due diligence, you're not going to win the bid. It's a lot right now in
Mm,
this market, but at the time you bought, you didn't have to go through all of that. So that's wonderful.
right. Yeah. Somebody had another question.
It depends on the home. So if you buy a home that's worth about 140,000, you
Mhm,
may only want to pay 500 in due diligence depending on the area. So if you're in
mhm,
Raleigh Durham, just know that $2,500 is standard, and that's at the low end. But if you're
mhm,
in Cumberland County or Robinson County, you may only have to pay $100 in due diligence because maybe the houses are not selling. But
mm.
anywhere in Raleigh, Durham, and Nightdale surrounding areas, you're gonna have to come with a strong due diligence in order to win the bid.
Wow.
So it just
Okay.
depends on where you're buying at, because some areas you may not even have to pay anything like you do here in Raleigh, Durham.
Okay. All right. Cool. Awesome, man. I didn't even want to let you go. I could keep going on. You have so much
I can
information.
say,
I'm gonna definitely have to bring you back to share some more information, and then we can talk a little bit longer. So tell people how they can get in contact with you. I have your information on the screen.
right there, you can email me or you can call me at 919-885-8911. My name is Tricia Brown. That's my direct number. I look forward to helping anybody who want to buy or sell their home or who may need to build credit to get
And,
you there.
and what
First
about buying
time
some
buyers.
land? What about buying some land?
Yeah, of course, I can help with buying land. But remember,
Okay.
banks, a lot of banks don't finance land, so it's probably going to be a cash deal. When you're looking
Mm,
to buy it, when you're looking to buy land, it's a totally different project.
wow. Awesome, awesome. Well, man, this is phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. All right. So leave us with a word of encouragement, and then we're gonna continue to like and share this broadcast
Okay.
as well. And then we're gonna definitely bring you back. Cause look, I got questions now. Like I'm like, I need to sit down one on one with you because my mind is running with all the information that you shared today. So
Uh,
I'm grateful for you and thank you for your time.
no problem, and thank you for having me. And my word of encouragement to anybody, whether you're ready to buy or sell, become debt free so that you can have the freedom to live the life that you want to live. Don't
Mm,
become so involved down with material things that you can't even live a great life. Become
mhm.
debt free, because being debt free gives you freedom that you never felt before. Now, I'm not saying you're going to wake up every day happy, but what I'm saying, you're not going to wake up every day worried.
Come on with that.
So become debt free, live a simple life. And once you do that, all the other things that you want will be easy to accumulate because you have the freedom to do it. But when you bog down with so much debt that you
Come
can't
on.
sleep, that you can't make good
Come
decisions, it's no way to live life.
on.
So
Hmm.
I encourage you to become debt free. And once you become debt free, you will see the freedom in being free from debt.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time. You will
No,
definitely be back on and we will follow up after Thanksgiving, because I want to
okay,
really sit down and maybe talk with you. But thank you so
okay,
much for sharing all of that great information because I'm pretty
no
sure
problem.
workshops that probably pay a lot of money to get that information. So I am grateful for you, Miss Brown,
Thank you.
and we'll have you back on.
Okay, thank you, Deloris, and thank you
All
out
right.
there in the world for tuning in, you guys.
Absolutely. You guys like and share this broadcast. Miss Brown is my guest for today. I am Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Make sure you stay connected to the number one divine connector, which is Jesus Christ. All right, you guys stay tuned and we will talk to you soon.
Hey, we've got exciting news from Divine Connections Marketing Services. Now you can create your own custom video commercial for your business or organization. It's time for you to win. Your product or service is someone's solution. So get the attention of your potential customers now. Choose from a 30 or 60-second commercial today. Just email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com and we can get started. Connect today and let's get started making your custom video commercial now. Divine Connections magazine. Get major exposure for your business. Is someone looking for your service? Do you need networking? Are you a gospel artist or a ministry? Do you have a major event that you want to promote? Divine Connections magazine has the solution for you. We can distribute to residents, businesses, churches, and online. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your marketing locally and around the world. Find out more about us at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Get your spot in the next issue of Divine Connections magazine by emailing us for details at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections.
Let's get it started now.